The show can't start until we crack open a bottle of Revelton. Whether it's their crisp, clean vodka, the bold spice of their rye whiskey, the rich smoothness of bourbon, or the original honey whiskey that started it all, every pour is a taste of craft and passion straight from the heart of Iowa. So pour yourself.
I'm on my podcast. Stop coming in here.
And get ready to relax, laugh, and enjoy the show.
Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Red and gold on the edge of the sky, feel the rumble, hear the battle cry. Out in Ames where the storms ignite, we don't back down, we rise and fight. Jack Trice's name, yeah, it echoes strong. A story of honor still marches on. Through the rain, through the pain, through the fire we roar, 'cause we were built to thrive in the eye of the storm. Feel the ground shake, hear the crowd roar. Cyclone power, can't take no more. Legends rise, this is our norm. We stand tall in the eye of the storm. There's a cyclone blowing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Trice shakes when the team takes flight. Buildings rocking, hear the magic call. We rise together, we'll never fall. Feel the magic, you can't.
Welcome back to In the Side of the Storm, where we talk all things Cyclones. In fact, tonight we may talk a little bit more than Cyclones with the big game between Florida and the Iowa Hawkeyes on at the moment. We're live from the AKC Marketing Studio with Andrew Downs and sponsored by Revelton Distilling Company out of Osceola, Iowa. Iowa Beef Steakhouse, the great Julia Bradshaw, and Style by J Boutique, and now the official realtor of the show, Jenny Farrell with Remax. I'm Dave Larson here with my Storm Team partner and Cyclone great, the legend Marcus Pfizer. Good evening. How are you? Actually, you're not on. There we go. How are you?
I'm good. Been enjoying these games today. Enjoying this last one. How about
This is
yourself?
not the easiest thing to do, is to try to do a show in the middle of March
Yeah.
Madness. This has been an incredible weekend.
This has been this has been one of the most fun weekends in NCAA history to me. The programs are getting better. The teams are getting better. Like I said before, NIL is allowing a lot of different programs to be able to have the ability to compete, and it's been amazing.
Well, and here we are, another Sweet 16 appearance by the Cyclones, the third one in 5 seasons under TJ Otzelberger. So absolutely incredible, considering the circumstances too. So
Yeah.
throttled Tennessee State. I keep wanting to call them Tennessee Tech. 108-74 on Friday. That was, I looked it up. Believe it or not, it wasn't even in the top 10 highest scoring games in NCAA tournament history. I think 109 is. So we just missed out on that. So big game there. But probably the biggest news coming out of that game is losing Joshua Jefferson with it looked pretty severe when he flipped that ankle over. And as someone that you've played the game, I've played at a much different level. Certainly, I think we've all rolled an ankle and seen what that will do. That looked painful. I mean, that we've seen a roll, but when it rolls to the top of the foot like that, that tells me it was going to be more than a couple of days that he was going to be out. And I would argue maybe even a couple of weeks. What did you see? I mean, you've been in that scenario. Describe the pain of trying to run up and down a hardwood floor on an ankle injury like that.
Yeah, I had a similar injury when I was working on the training with Tim Grover in Chicago, and I went up and block a shot, pinned it on the backboard, and I came down and stepped on the foot and twisted it, and so Tim immediately rushed over. It's like, man, what's going on? And I was like, and I think I broke my damn ankle because it was just I could see it swelling out my shoe. Like literally, I had my NBA socks on, and you could see the swelling start coming up out my sock. And so they rushed me to the hospital, did X-ray and everything, and nothing. Thankfully, nothing was broken, but it was pretty severely twisted. I ended up. That was in 2001. I was going over to playing the Goodwill games with Team USA, and so my agent still wanted me to go. I was kind of reluctant about going. I was on the plane, man. My wife was on the plane with, ice bucket, foot in a tub of ice, in first class flying over to Brisbane, Australia.
She just wanted to go on the trip.
So the trainers, they just, round the clock treatment, massaging, stem and ice. And we end up playing like about a week and a half, 2 weeks later. And I was able to, play a good amount of time there. It wasn't 100%, but I just knew once, you could see on the replay the way it turned over, he was going to be able to play today. I mean, I wouldn't. I said in the group chat that I thought that even if he tried, he would have been hurting us more than helping us because, he's too valuable. He's in all kinds of spots all over the floor, and not being able to be in the spots you need to be in would end up hurting the team worse than helping. So they kept him out today. The guys didn't need him today, and it was a really, really good game, and it was fun to see us come out and beat a team like Kentucky like that.
Obviously, he was on the sidelines, still in the boot today. I think I saw videos of him coming. They were leaving their hotel or going towards their bus. He had a scooter, sort of leading the team out, which you never really want to see. But I guess the blessing is it's not broken, although when it's that severe, it could feel just like it's broken. I mean, that's a very painful injury to have.
It is very painful. But I know, like I said, with the training staff, he's going to have to endure a lot of, agony at this moment right now. So, elevate that thing, really get that massage, get that blood moving, old blood out, new blood in, old blood out. That type, treatment. It's painful, but it can happen. If they really give him, 2 or 3 times a day, he should be able to. If not, when we play next Friday or next Friday. Is when we're on again, or if he don't go next Friday and we're blessed enough to get past that, then the Sunday he should be able to come out and give some time. But it all depends on how the training staff attacks it.
You made reference that some of the treatment includes heavy massage therapy. What other things would they be doing behind the scenes that we don't see? I think that when we've gone through that as athletes, there's some things that they want you to be doing from a PT standpoint. And some of the things I remember was standing with my eyes closed on that bad ankle. Of course, a lot of ice and massage therapy, but I imagine today's technology, there's a lot of neat gizmos that they're probably hooking you up to electrodes and things like that, correct?
Yeah, just a lot of ultrasound, a lot of stem. It's a lot of the same of what's been in the past. Definitely the Normatec and the Game Ready machine, the Game Ready ice machine. And like I said, even in the chat, Marcus Jr.
Whoa. It's called a Game Ready ice machine? What? Right. Tell me more about that.
So the Game Ready ice machine, it's a leg compression, knee, ankle. They have it for hips, elbows, shoulders, and all that. All of the pros, pretty much have them everywhere, and I'm sure they have them at Iowa State. And it's a compression machine that you put ice and water in, and it gets like sub-zero temperatures. I mean, crazy cold. And so, like I was saying, Marcus Jr. in practice the other day, not laying a ball up, he was guarding someone and stepped on his teammate's foot and turned his ankle over the same way, and his foot is a big balloon.
Yeah,
and so
that was like a precursor of what just happened. That looked nasty.
Right.
Thanks for the visual on that.
So, but I said it. We have a Game Ready machine that spend eight or nine. It's like a $10,000 machine or whatever, $5 to $10,000 machine. And he sent it home the last time we were up there to see him, and it's sitting right over here in the garage. where he should have had it. And I told him, I said, well, what if you need this up here? He said, no, I should be, knock on wood, I should be okay this year, and everything that's going on. And the game ready is sitting over there just not being utilized. But, things like that. A lot of stim treatment, a lot of medication in terms of anti-inflammatories, and just getting on it, getting mobile. Once you make it angry, it's going to be angry. You got to calm it down. Lay around a lot of not moving, put your foot up above your heart, just letting that lymphatic system drain like it's supposed to, and just hope for the best. They're not going to do anything crazy. I don't think is shooting it up with any kind of pain relievers, anything like that, because you touch that thing right now with a needle, he probably punch you. So, nah.
Is there a concern? They also, I think TJ post game shared that they were going to have an MRI done on him once they got back to Ames. Is that a concern?
It could be. One of the things that Dr. Andrews always told me, the surgeon of stars who did all my ACL surgeries and stuff like that. With ankle injuries, like there's a lot of little small ligaments, in that ankle. And the stability of that and the muscles is what keep it, strong. Once you tear those little ligaments, he said those ligaments don't go back together. Like, that's where the swelling and all that stuff come from. And now it's your muscles that's keeping that, ankles stable and stuff like that. Tendons, you don't rupture, so any kind of tendon and stuff that's in your ankle, you don't have to pretty much worry about that. I told a story once about about having ACL surgery with the Big Show and Triple H. It was me, the Big Show, and Triple H on the other side. And Triple H had a ruptured tendon in his bicep. And I said, Doc, you told me, he was like, yeah, those guys are kind of doing some things a little bit different than what y'all do to make tendons rupture. So, I don't think we have to worry about a tendon or anything like that. I'm sure it's just going to be precaution. The biggest thing you worry about is a dislocation. The one thing that I know he's probably dealing with is bone bruising, because it's such a quick movement. When those bones click, those inside bones in the ankle is going to be bruised, and that's where majority of the pain is probably coming from at this moment.
Interesting. So,
yeah.
Do you anticipate, as an athlete, you want to be out there? You have a chance to play, to take your team to the Elite Eight, something you're familiar with, potential Final Four. He's going to want to play, right? How do you hold
Absolutely.
him back? Do you let Joshua Jefferson say if he's going to play or not, or is that a coach's decision?
I think it more so is going to be the trainer staff decision. There's going to have to be a lot of testing and stuff that he's going to have to do. Mobility, moving, jumping, and things like that. Of course, me, like I've said on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, number 5 to number 5, I would love more than nothing to see him, same position, take us to an Elite Eight and even farther at this moment. And when the injury occurred, I'm telling you, man, I was so sick to my stomach because I was just so infuriated to the fact that, like, that text, and I said in the chat, like that textbook ass layup. Like, it wasn't nothing crazy. He wasn't flying through the air. It was just a regular left hand lay, landed, and it turned over. So to see things like that happen to us when we're rolling so well, the last couple of weeks we've been playing so good together, even though we didn't win the Big 12 tournament. We understand that didn't happen, but I think the guys were really poised and focused. You can hear subtly in TJ voice, of the subtle voice that he has about how focused and how he's been on the guys about winning the ball game. And they came out today and they played extremely well, played hard, played well for Josh and Cyclone Nation, and pulled out a big one for us.
I don't know if you're watching this game, but Iowa just went up by 1 with 3.9 seconds against Florida.
They must hit a 3.
This is an insane time. What are we doing? I think that all the viewers that I'm seeing tallying in the corner there are probably now gaze at the television set. What an incredible game. Looks like there's a timeout now. So we appreciate everyone for joining us, especially our sponsors in a game like this.
You can't help off the shooter in the corner like that. You gotta you got to stay with the shooter,
And,
even if you let him try to penetrate and
and
get
there
to the
must be a
basket.
delay because I hear
A little bit.
upstairs my kid's home, and I just
Uh,
heard a yell just as I turned and the shot went up. So I must have a basement delay.
and I must have a bigger one because you had already said that he scored it before they had even taken the ball out.
Well, and maybe there's somebody watching at home that hasn't seen it yet. So I apologize if I spoiled it for you, but wow.
If
This
it's that
is
much of the, if
this
it's
is
that
great.
much of a delay,
And you've
wow.
in the text chain, you've said so many times, March Madness, March Madness. This is
Hmm.
a crazy, but this is part of college sports. This is the thing that forget all the NIL and the fact that what I think I read somewhere that Kentucky has a budget of $22 million for NIL dollars.
Hmm.
And here we are going in, and we didn't just beat Kentucky, we throttled Kentucky, a blue blood, a program that I think a lot of teams want to be like, but yet TJ's team went in there and just punched them in the face and just said goodbye. I found it interesting in that first half when Kentucky went up. It felt like it was just more of a, hey, let's see how this game plays out for the first half of
Hmm.
the game and see what happens. And then you saw the defensive pressure and intensity about midway through. I think Kentucky got up by 7 or 8 even then, but you could see that all of a sudden they turned it up a notch, and then we started to click and finally went up 31-30 at halftime, and really that was the end of the game. It just a good solid performance today by the Cyclones, again coming off of that huge win against Tennessee State the other day. Again, third Sweet 16 appearance. Tamin Lipsey, 25 points, 10 assists, 5 steals against Kentucky. What a gamer out of Tamin Lipsey.
Yeah, it was. My wife said someone else is going to have to step up with Josh being out. I said we got some guys that's definitely used to the moment and is going to step up and Tatum came out and played extremely well. Once I started watching, I saw the defensive intensity kick up a lot
Yeah.
more. And once you
Mhm.
saw that, it's like they don't have the shot making ability to continue to have this lead, and we're going to run them in the ground playing defense until the last seconds is on the clock till it's on zero. So once I saw Tatum was in the pass lane a lot. He was tipping a lot of passes, a lot of balls, and when that tends to happen, guys get real skittish. And we turned that up, and the rest is history.
Wow. Iowa just
I
beat
don't.
Florida.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Why would he try to pass that?
Wow.
Why would he? How do you not get a shot up on that?
That is phenomenal. In their backyard. Iowa goes now, of course, Iowa, they're so used to Tampa. They've been down there so many times for football. It's like a second home for them. But hey, they just beat the number 1 seed Florida in the South region, which really lines it up for
And
Houston quite well.
so
I
so
got to
so
go back to is this a Nebraska Iowa game then?
it said
Can't
something.
I
It
can't
said something about when it was only like 2 perfect brackets still left. You can't tell me there's perfect bracket left now.
not anymore.
It can't be.
Wow. This is basketball at its finest. I
How,
love
but look at
college
this last
athletics.
shot though. How do you
I
not get a
know.
shot? Like
Yeah.
you
Try
got to
do a
shoot that.
wraparound.
You got
Just
to
take
run.
it all the
Like,
way.
what?
Just take it all
Right.
the way. Tice Edney that and take it up.
I don't
I
know,
don't know.
Ty.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Bro. How do you not?
Wow. That's pretty cool though. Iowa
You gotta
finally
stop.
gets it.
You gotta stop right there.
They fire their coach and they finally get to a Sweet 16. So it was the coach's fault.
We're gonna blame it all the way back to Steve Alford.
That's right. So, you bring a point. Yeah, TJ, they pulled him out in that probably middle of the first half during that mid-game interview, which
Mhm.
I think is an interesting addition. But he even admitted to the reporter, he said, our defense is not predicated on the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game. It's 40 minutes. And yeah, they're making some shots, but let's see how the rest of the game
Right.
rolls. And he was right.
Right.
I mean, that defense, it was, especially when they turned it up in the middle of that first half. It got brutal. It got sick. And Kentucky just fell apart. They were not the team that they were in the first 7 or 8 minutes of that game. They just completely fell apart, and it was really due to that Iowa State defense.
Yeah, you see, TJ is a hybrid coach of where he got a lot of the old school in him and a lot of the new school. He's young enough to be, he's young enough to be a part of the new school, the new kids that are coming up, but have come behind and learned from a lot of the old school coaches where his intensity and everything is about defense. You got a lot of coaches that don't care about nothing but putting points on the board and things of that nature. These type coaches teach us how to play defense and be rewarded from the defensive side to going to the offensive side. And then once you get that ball on the defensive side, then we run in and doing whatever we want to do under control in order to get the shots that we want to get. A lot of times we see guys like, not guys like, but programs where, all they want to do is shoot, run the gun. And you got guys not even getting back on defense. And it's like, if you're making shots, you win. If you don't make the shots, you don't win. And we're the program that has always been of late playing defense, score the points off of the defensive end. And before you know it, once you wear a team down defensively, they don't know what else to do. And then you look up, we up by 20 or 30 or 40 points in, ball game.
All right, so I want to recognize our We Will Performer of the Week. So before we do so, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Let's be honest. Pizza is something almost every family enjoys. You're already grabbing one at the store. So why not choose the best tasting pizza that also supports a cause we all care about? That was the challenge behind We Will Pizza. Create the ultimate frozen pizza for Cyclone fans. Big flavor, bold toppings, and options for everyone, including gluten-free choices that don't sacrifice taste. And if you haven't tried it yet, the real MVP? The breakfast pizza. Perfect for early kickoffs, tailgates, or watch parties when Hilton Magic or Jack Trice Energy is calling. Every bite helps benefit Iowa State student athletes, so your game day spread does more than just taste amazing. It gives back. We Will Pizza. Made for Cyclone fans, built for tailgates, and ready whenever you are. We will, you will, Cyclones will.
All right, Marcus. So the We Will Pizza Performer of the Week has got to be Tamin Lipsey. We've talked about him game after game, and he's always up there in terms of we should be recognizing this guy more often. But today, 25 points, 10 assists, and 5 steals was just a remarkable day out of Tamin Lipsey. You talked about it, right? You got to have players step up with your All-American out of the lineup, and Tamin Lipsey has done just that. And really, Torrey, in his first game or last game against Tennessee State, he had a really good game as well.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that Tamin career high was 26. I thought he scored a little bit more than that a time or two before, but he's never been the scoring guard. He's always been the anchor, without a doubt, for this ball club. And like I said, since he came in, probably since he was in high school, he was, a small young man that has grown into a big young man in the program of Iowa State, and he's just always been the most level-headed, no matter what the adversity was going on. He made big shots, he made big plays, to be in the right spots, and to have that type of guard to lead this program for the last 4 years has been phenomenal.
So, Marcus, we have our reporter on the street, Joel Clement. Thank you, Joel, for putting in a comment. But it looks like, per the NCAA March Madness bracket, there are now 0 perfect brackets with our Iowa win. So, congrats to Iowa.
There cannot be any perfect brackets. If there's a perfect bracket, it's still out now because Iowa played well to even get to this point. I think they thought someone else was going to be facing Florida at this time. And
are you shocked that it took this long, though? I mean, we're almost at the end of day 2, 4. I'm really shocked. That's taking this long.
Because these programs, like I said, if people don't want to put it, it's not about the NIL value of the amount of money. It's the opportunity to get higher level players from different places in the transfer portal to entice them to come and to help programs to compete at a higher level now. And it's been some great basketball that's going on since the NCAA tournament. I even want to turn over a couple of times and look at the NIT and see the same thing because there was a lot of teams right in the NIT that was right at the cusp of being in the NCAA tournament. So I'm not surprised. We're really not going to get any big Cinderellas anymore. I know High Point had a good run, but they got some great players that they have on that team that could have been at probably different universities that they chose to go there and make it to this moment. My one of my ex-players here in high school played with Marcus Jr. in high school, played for our AAU program. Martell Williams with Cal Baptist, first time they've ever been to the tournament, and to see him facing Kansas, a team I played against when I was in college, that's phenomenal to see. I know they fell short, but they gave them a run at the end and almost pulled that one out. So it's great to see that this is the time that we're living in, and seeing 1-point games at the end like this is what March Madness is about.
Hey, I have a question. With all these games going on at these sites, it has to throw you off of your rhythm that you're used to showing up, especially for a home game, so many hours. You probably had a set schedule when you're on a road at a road game. What's it like going to an NCAA game, and what's your routine when you're being dropped off and for a tournament game like that? What are you doing? Are you standing around? Do you try to replicate what your normal home situation looks like? What is that like playing in the NCAA tournament between games?
Well, I don't think there is no routine. You have to wait and see. Once you win, you have to wait to see if someone else is playing, and if they win in behind you, who your opponent is going to be, what the times are going to be. That can throw so many things off. The time to eat, the hotel room, all of that is just you just play it by ear. You go through the motions of everything of shoot around. There's no practicing going on at all anymore. We're just straight shoot around and prepping for the teams that you play on Thursday and then you play on Saturday, Friday or Sunday. Nobody's getting no crazy practices in between that. We're just shooting around. A lot of in the hotel lobby, not the hotel lobby, the conference room. They probably I probably assume TJ probably got taped down like Tim Floyd and Larry Strachey and all the greats that always did. And once we get done with the walkthrough or whatever, we sit down in front of the screen and we watch the team that we're going to be facing. Get something to eat, got food there, go get off your feet, relax, and wait for the next day to come. Watch the games that are on, in between the 2 days. But that's basically it.
Do you get better food at the NCAA tournament, or what's your? I assume you walk up and they've got a big buffet of food. What?
Well, no. Yeah, no. See, that'd be the biggest misconception. Like with dealing with, high level sports and things like this. Like it's real healthy food. The pastas, salads, and stuff like that.
You're not getting McDonald's drive-through though. You're not getting drive-through.
No, but you're not getting, like crazy buffet. You got cakes and stuff everywhere. No, it's straight, catered to the stuff that you need to fuel your body with, the drinks, water, and Gatorades and stuff of that nature. And you sit down and eat, watch the film, and go back to your room.
Well, hopefully it's more Powerade and Body Armor than Gatorade, but that's just a personal preference. So good question or dumb question. Okay. So I'm going to preface that in advance of the actual question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we a better team without Joshua Jefferson? Now hear me out. We've seen others step up. We've seen what this team can do without him in these last 2 games. Defensively, there's the ball pressure, there's active hands. Offensively, there's more, I won't say more ball movement, but there definitely is ball movement. The thing is with Joshua that he passes the ball so well himself. I hate to even say that, but we just scored 108 points, excuse me. Am I right? Yeah, 108 points against Tennessee State. and then another 82 points today against Kentucky. I mean, you can't. We had Jeff Goodman on Twitter before the game even started had said, Iowa State has an inability to score without Joshua Jefferson, yet we're now plus 55 in 2 games in the tournament without him. He played 3 minutes and we're plus 55 points. I guess, can a case be made that we are better without Joshua Jefferson? And I hate to say that.
No, absolutely not. The matchups are different. The game plan that they may have or may have prepared for us has to be different. So if the transition is different, if the opportunity to be in different places and things of that nature, it's kind of like, to me, I don't care how 40 or 41-year-old LeBron James is. The Lakers are not better without LeBron James. It just is what it is. They've been playing great here of late. They got a lot of young players that, score a lot of points when he's sitting out or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, like, the dynamic of what that kind of a player brings to the program it just changed the whole dynamic of everything. And I feel like we would have beaten those teams possibly differently. But, who's to say these last 2 games without Josh, guys who had to play in bigger roles and play extended minutes may not be tired going into the next weekend, because that's not normally what they do. If we can win one way and still be dominant and have to pivot to win a different way and still get a win done, and that may change the dynamic of things a little bit, you never know what's going to happen. We know what we have with him. We know what we've had all year with him. And so to have that groundwork and that base of what we've been, I'd rather take that than, the kind of wins that we're winning now. Because, again, we don't know what the matchups are going to be. In the NCAA tournament, you really don't have the chance to prepare for people like you can in the Big 12. You got all week to prepare for the program that's coming in, and you can prepare for them a little bit better than what you can now. So a win is a win. I take the more points, or I take the win versus not having him. I'd rather have him on the floor.
All right.
Jeff
I didn't mean to have you walk into this, but you kind of did. So remember, we had conversations about Jason Tatum with the Celtics coming back. Do you bring him back? Mm-hmm. And you were like, nah, you should wait a year. But yet you look at, he's coming back, and now the Celtics have probably put themselves in a position for the NBA championship. I like the argument. Yes, I agree. We have to bring him back if he's healthy.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Celtics were number 2 in the East, and I think they're still number 2 in the East. Yeah. So I don't think that really changed much. I think they were going. That was in terms of a more severe.
We're number 2 in the Midwest.
Injury. But that was a more severe injury than an ankle twist. Like that was an Achilles rupture. So that's more of the caution of, and then way more games. Like if we were in mid-January right now, I'd be like, definitely hold Josh out until mid-February if we have to, and then bring him back in to finish the rest of the season. But I mean, we got 4 games left to win, and you got to get him on the floor as quick as we can.
The right answer. You're right. We have 4 games left. That's the way to look at it. All right, let's take a break. We want to talk on the other side a little bit about Chicago and what we should expect coming up next weekend.
Chicago.
In the heart of Des Moines, one name has stood above the rest: Iowa Beef Steakhouse. Step inside, and you enter a place where tradition still matters, where the atmosphere feels familiar, warm, and unmistakably Iowa. Service isn't rushed. It's personal, attentive, and rooted in genuine care. And before the main event, the freshest start in the city, our signature salad bar, crafted every single day. Then comes the reason people have returned for generations: Iowa beef, hand-seasoned with pride. Guided by flame, forged by heat. This is where flavor becomes legend. Served with the same care it was crafted with, a meal meant to be remembered. And whether the night calls for bold, smooth, or something in between, our bar offers a selection as rich as our history, including the old-fashioned we've become known for. Balanced, timeless, unforgettable. And long after the fire cools, the glow of this place stays with you. Iowa Beef Steakhouse, 1201 East Euclid Avenue, Des Moines, Iowa. Where Iowa comes for steak, done right.
Gentlemen, let's be honest. Finding the perfect gift for your wife or girlfriend isn't always easy. You want something thoughtful, stylish, and unique. And that's exactly what you'll find at Styled by JJ Boutique. Julia Bradshaw and her team strive to be your go-to boutique for casual, boho, and chic clothing and accessories, helping women elevate their style one piece at a time. Located right here in Johnston, Iowa, Styled by JJ brings trendy, high-quality fashion that boosts confidence without breaking the bank. So, if you're looking for a gift that says, I get you, instead of I tried, head to Styled by JJ Boutique. Because nothing makes her smile like feeling beautiful. Styled by JJ Boutique, where style meets confidence. Visit our Johnston location or shop online at styledbyjjboutique.com.
When you walk into Coach's Kolaches, you might be a little overwhelmed by all the great choices, but do not be overwhelmed by how to say it.
What's a colache?
Oh, cola cheese? Colache?
Kolaches?
Kolache?
Like the shoes? No, that can't be right.
It's kolache, but it don't matter what you call it, as long as you call it good.
Start your morning the Coach's Kolaches way. Every single batch is made fresh at sunrise by Coach himself. You can taste the care in every bite. Craving something savory? Go with that branded Texas flavor. Warm, hearty, and packed with down-home goodness. Or maybe you're craving the sweeter life. Then you've got to try the fruit-filled kolaches or those soft, fresh cinnamon rolls that practically melt in your mouth. Got that game day fever? We got just what you need at that tailgate.
How's it going, man?
Good.
Tailgating this weekend.
Yeah, what can I get you?
Big one. Give me a dozen jalapeno sausages and 6 each of the sausage and bacon.
And listen, we all know how good these are, so you better get more than you think. So run, don't walk to Coach's Kolaches, 2777 100th Street in Urbandale, or call ahead for big orders at 515-802-6200.
Buying or selling a home is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's why choosing the right real estate team matters. The Jenny Farrell team with RE/MAX Concepts has been helping families across the Des Moines Metro find the right home since 1998. Born and raised right here in the community, Jenny understands the neighborhoods, the market, and what truly makes a house feel like home. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading your space, or preparing to sell, the Jenny Farrell team provides expert guidance every step of the way, from market analysis and listings to negotiations and closing. Their consultative approach means you'll feel confident, informed, and supported throughout the entire process. Jenny Farrell Team, RE/MAX Concepts. Call or text 515-779-7500. Visit jenniferfarrell.remax.com. Experience you can trust. Results you can move into.
And there it is, Jenny Farrell. Welcome to the Three Beards Media team. I'm here enjoying my Revelton still. A little bit left out of this particular bottle. Just waiting for some more sales to go on. Otherwise, I'll be heading down to Osceola to pick mine up here in the next week or so. All right, so Marcus, one of the things that kind of drives me nuts is as soon as Saturday hits, you see all of the CBS Sports, let's reseed the remaining teams left in the tournament. Am I crazy? I hate that. That just doesn't make sense. You're not going to reseed.
Right. It's all part of the marketing and all of that they have to do to try to keep excitement. We're already excited. Like we said, stick with one bracket, let it stay there. If all your teams have lost, let it stay the way that it is and enjoy the ride on that.
I think I did a couple of brackets, and I may have altered just because I forgot who I had. Is that a problem? And here, Joel again is piping in that just 4.54. Is that right?
8-4.
8-4.
That's right, yeah.
Iowa in the Sweet 16. Well, I'm not shocked at that stat.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know if they really had themselves in the Sweet 16. It just matchups are what they are. Like you get some good roll, get some good baskets go in, good stops, and you get confidence within yourself at this time, and great things happen.
Hey, and the other, so I work in my office. There's a number of Iowa fans. There's a number of Iowa State fans, mostly who I hired.
Mm-hmm.
And I was planning to just strut in tomorrow with my Iowa State gear, but it'll make for a fun week knowing that Iowa and Iowa State, and for that matter, let's remember former Cyclone Fred Hoiberg. He not only took Nebraska to the NCAA tournament, got them their first win, but he has them in the Sweet 16 as well. Yep. This is going to be an absolute fun week at work.
Yeah, the camaraderie of what it is all year long is what it is. I mean, we know how we go back and forth with all programs. It's not Iowa State Cyclones during the year, but like I said, before we got on, once the tournament start, I'll root for all teams as Iowa and all teams in the Big 12. I want to see them have success and go as far as they can. We said in the text chat that we want Iowa to win this game against Florida. It's a great feeling, a great upset. I mean, because a lot of the people that we know and love have families that are either Iowa State or Iowa. So a little Drake and a little of you and I sprinkle in here and there, but it's great to see. I mean, please still strut in with all your Iowa State gear, because I'm more than certainly they can have on their Iowa Hawkeye gear. So it's a good time to be a Cyclone and a Hawkeye.
All right, so I'm on record. I am getting this tattoo.
Oh, wow.
If Iowa State makes the Final Four. I probably should anyway. But
if Iowa State makes the Final Four, I'll get the same tattoo with you. Where are you getting it at?
That's debatable. I don't have a spot. I'm a clean slate, so.
Oh, see, I don't have a lot of spots. That's the issue. I mean, how big are we gonna go?
Well, on 6'8", I would hope that they can find something.
I have well over 30-some tattoos, so there's not a lot of spots.
Do you have any Iowa State or recognizes Cy at all on you? What?
No, I don't have any. Only thing I have is, my wife and kids pretty much named the different things that, family-wise and stuff like that. I don't know sports teams or anything like that.
So we now know that we will play Tennessee. They beat Virginia today. That game will be played Friday at the United Center, a place that you're familiar with. What are your thoughts on this chance to play yet another team from the state of Tennessee?
Coach Barnes, we know the battles of going up against him. They are a solid ball club. It's going to be a tough one without a doubt, but it's right in our backyard. We're going to assume a victory, like Chris Shipley said. Let's all meet in Chicago. And I said, that might be a good idea. So we might make something like that happen if tickets comes available.
All right, I have a question then. So being that you're a former Bull, former Cyclone, one would say you're always going to be a Bull and always a Cyclone, but do you have any special perks that you could legitimately get in for that game?
Possibly. I mean, a lot of the ticket, office people are still the same people there. I really don't utilize it as much as people, think that you should. In light of what's going on a lot, in life, viruses and COVID and all that stuff, man, I'll sit at home and watch the game. But, I can pick up, the phone and call the Bulls ticket office and identify myself, and if I wanted a ticket, yeah, I can definitely get it. Now, in terms of NCAA tournament, I don't know how that works. I don't know if they're in control of it or whatever, but I'm sure I can make a few phone calls and make something happen. But we'll see.
Have you looked at flights from Vegas to Chicago just
I
to
hadn't
see
yet.
if it's possible? I did go online to look at the price of tickets as that game was winding down. It was, I think $3 for the 2 games on Friday and $240, $260 for the single game on Sunday.
I thought you were talking about flight tickets. I'm like,
well,
why
for
would you be
you're
flying
gonna. I can drive. I mean, that's drive. I'm not gonna fly. I would.
That's all I
drive
thought
down
you
there.
said.
But
Yeah.
Have you looked at tickets to fly?
No, I hadn't yet. He put in the group chat and games were still on. I was prepping for, the podcast, and that didn't work out too well with my computer. So I didn't have a chance to look yet. But best believe I'm going to be looking to see what that looks like.
There's just something very appealing about the chance to see Iowa State win the regional final to go to the Final Four. I'm going to be tempted if that's sitting out there on Friday night for that matter. Even if I can't get in, I think I might go just to be there.
Yeah, I hadn't been back in almost 10 years. I don't like the cold. I do not like the cold, but I hadn't been back. It's maybe been less than that, but I hadn't been back in quite some time now. So it'd been enjoyable to go back, the old stomping grounds with, the Bulls and with the Cyclones. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed.
So I'm on Ticketmaster right now. As of the cheapest tickets as of right now for Friday night is $308.88. And again, you get 2 games with that. And for Sunday only, the cheapest is $255.
So where are they located?
Oh, they're nosebleeds. If you want to get down by the floor, you're talking $1,000 at least. Which, again, for the opportunity to be there when Iowa State punches their ticket to the Final Four, I don't know that I can put a price on that, other than it might cost me a marriage, but you can get another wife, right?
You get another Iowa State season.
That's right.
That's what you get.
So, okay, Iowa State then beat Kentucky. Now, this Kentucky team twice beat Tennessee. Does that matter in a game like this for us?
At this point, no. At this point, this time of year, no. I mean, everyone is rolling. No, not at all. And then they got a whole damn near a week to prepare for it. Possibly without, our All-American Joshua Jefferson.
So likely Tennessee, and then if we prevail in that game, it would be a regional final matchup against Michigan. Obviously, Ann Arbor is a very short trip to Chicago as well. Hypothetically, how would you see a game like that shaping up for Iowa State?
How do we know Michigan already?
Well, I'm making some assumptions. They still have yet to play tonight, and then they would have an additional game. No. Have they already punched their ticket in?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, after who do they play next round in the 16 to go to the 8?
Yeah, I would need to look that up, my friend.
Because again, we didn't have Iowa beating Florida.
I'm sorry. So Michigan plays Texas Tech. Is who I have, right?
And that's tonight or?
No, I have Texas Tech against Alabama, and I think that game is yet to be played. My apologies. So Michigan would need to beat either in their Sweet 16 matchup, Texas Tech or Alabama, which I think would be I'll be curious to see how Alabama does with their one guy that was arrested and seems to be ineligible to play the rest of the way. But I'm making some assumptions that Michigan comes out of that, and that's who we would play should we get that far, and should they get that far. How do you like that matchup? Should that be the case?
I would love that matchup.
It's a game we talked about all year, right?
Being from Michigan, being a Wolverine at heart behind a Cyclone. Like I said, if I would have transferred from Iowa State when Tim Floyd left, it would have been to the University of Michigan. I would have played with, my rookie teammate Jamal Crawford. That would have been a lot of fun.
Ooh,
but I stayed at Iowa State and played with Jamal Tinsley, and that was a lot of fun as well.
That was a lot of fun, yeah.
But it should be a good game, good matchup. Don't want to proceed that far ahead because I'm really concerned about what we're going to be doing without Josh, if Josh is available or not.
Well, and I think that's something that a lot of Cyclone fans would echo at this point. So again, a lot of fun going on, and I probably would be remiss to not bring up the women's basketball. So they played as well on Friday. Just another disappointing finish to their season. They lost in their first game in the Big 12 conference tournament, lost to Syracuse, the 8-9 seed, 72-63. Audie Crooks had 37 points. She doesn't really appear to be the problem. Just did not shoot well collectively as a team outside of Audie Crooks. We could have kept dumping it down low to her the entire game. I don't know that would have accomplished anything. At the end of the day, you got to have people more than Audie scoring in any game, much less an NCAA tournament game. Just, I'm a big fan. I love this team. I still think that they have all the right parts for a run. It just, what am I missing as a fan? Because it feels like everything is there. It's just, we continue to stumble, and we haven't been the same team since Addie Brown was hurt. And while she did come back for the last couple weeks, we just didn't seem to be firing on all cylinders the rest of the way.
Yeah, when I saw the score, and man, we scored 63 points, and then I saw, Audie had 37. I was like, boy, wait a minute. So I looked through the box score and was like, we just did not make shots. I mean, if, one or two players would have shot, 10 to 15% better than what they shot, we would have had more points and been closer and possibly winning that game. So you got to make shots as well as you get stops and things of that nature. But very disappointing, for the whole program and coaching staff and everyone to not advance further into the tournament for sure.
Well, and I know that there's, I've seen the chatter online. I think we've kind of chatted about it in our text chain too, and we'll keep some of that private. But, I think that there's some talk about maybe it's time for a change. And I would just point this one thing out. Iowa men's basketball fans wanted a change with Tom Davis, and he took them to Sweet 16 after Sweet 16. Now, granted, we've not had that much success, but it wasn't that long ago that there were only 300 people showing up at a game, a women's game for Hilton Coliseum. Mm-hmm. And it took Iowa, 3 coaches to get back to a single Sweet 16. And they just did that this year.
All right.
So I don't know. I'm a big Bill Fennelly fan. I'm a big believer in him. He's bringing in the players. He's got the players there, the athletes, the team. The kids are fun to watch. They smile. They have a little moxie to them as well, that I really feel like they're close. It feels like we need to supplement what we have, not just gut it. And so that's my only saying for any of this is, let's remember a team down the road, what happened with them when they were crying about Sweet 16 in appearances. And it took them 20, 25 years to get remotely close to where they were under Tom Davis. And we should also preface this, that remember when we had Tanya Banks on a couple of weeks ago and we were talking about the gymnastics program, there's only so many dollars to go around, folks. And if we think that we're going to bring in like these number one McDonald's All-Americans and sit on the bench because we're just stacked with them, that's just not going to happen in today's era. And there's only so much to go around. And like, do you take what you know you're going to get with Coach Fennelly and the players, or do you try to start over with the unknown? And I would argue that to me is a much more scary proposition in today's era than it would have been if we had done something 10, 15 years ago. So I love this women's team. I love the coaching staff. I hope that we can then use this as motivation for next year and tweak. And I think from my perspective, there's some shooters that, we really need to focus in on the outside 3-point shot and the scoring ability. I think we've got the drivers and we've got some scoring. We just need to be more productive from the outside. But I don't know. Did you have any further thoughts on that? Became a bit of a rambling diatribe by me.
Yeah, like you said, total faith in Coach Finley. Definitely my GOAT in all sports of Iowa State University and the program there. Kind of wish I had the opportunity to play for him, but I'm not that gender, so I admire him from afar. But I just feel like yesterday, or no, that loss was just a total anomaly to the fact that it was something that we didn't expect. At the end of the day, I get, coaches, the players and things like that, but I've always took the accountability, and even with my guys when we got out there, I used to tell them, Coach Eustacia, Coach Perry, Coach Barnes, Coach Terry, they're not on the floor. We're the one. Once it doesn't matter how much they're yelling at us, they saying whatever. Once we step inside this rectangle, it's up to us to do what we got to do. We got to make shots. We got to make shots. We got to get stopped. They can't get the stops for us. They can't make the shots for us. So when I looked at that box score, I didn't feel necessarily it was a coaching thing. I felt like it was a shot making thing. Not even if it's not necessarily a talent thing, because we've had our ups and downs. We've looked extremely good, with everyone that when they were healthy and playing. Yesterday, whatever the game was, I forget when it was just a loss from not making shots. And if you don't make shots, you don't win the ball game. You don't have more points than the other team.
All right. Well, my friend, we wait to see what time we tip off on Friday against the Tennessee Volunteers in Chicago. Who do you see coming out of the Midwest?
Oh, I don't even think I've looked at that.
Who was in your original bracket? Do you remember who you had going to the Final Four?
I don't. Final Four. I do Arizona. Shit, Florida. So they're not there. Duke, Arizona, Florida. I forget the last one. I'm drawing a blank at this moment.
Might have been,
but I know
your Cyclones or your Wolverines would be my guess. Those would have been the most popular selections at the time a week ago.
It probably would have been Michigan. So possibly Michigan. I know I had Duke, Arizona. I know it wasn't Houston. Felt like Houston wasn't going to make it as far this year. So it probably those four. I mean, I got two brackets. My son got a bracket that's going on with the NCAA or whatever, and then what Three Bears Media got. I just put the picks in and just let them go, and I haven't been watching it at all. I literally been watching the games. When I go onto the app, when I go to the site, I don't even know how to find my bracket. Like it takes me to all kind of different stuff and ads and stuff, and I'm like, man, I'm just watching the game. See, but the women's bracket that I put together, like I got an email saying that I've picked 89.7% right.
Wow.
So I'm like, well, shit, I guess I'm doing good in one bracket than the other. But I don't even know how to access them. I'm just watching the game as a fan.
Well, we should know by this time next Sunday what has happened, where the Cyclones are, if they've made the Final Four or not. And I say that with an asterisk because if you wake up Saturday morning and the Cyclones have won Friday, I'm probably on my way to Chicago, and I may not be on the show on Sunday. So just a friendly heads up on that.
We might be having a live one somewhere.
There we go. Let's plan for it. So Marcus, thank you for being on. Brent, we miss you. We hope everything's going okay. No worries on our side. We know life has gotten busy for you again. So
man, my boy's studying. He working for that degree. Hey, we ain't mad at him. We ain't mad at him. Do your thing, man.
He's a straight A student once again, as always. So thanks everyone. Again, it's a privilege just to be on here and to talk with you, Marcus, and talk NCAA basketball. Just fun night.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun weekend. Thank you to our sponsors, of course, Revelton Distilling Company, the OG, Iowa Beef Steakhouse, Andrew Downs and the AKC marketing team, Style by JJ Boutique, and of course, Jenny Farrell and Remax. Glad to have you on. And I should make a preference, with the spring here, and we've had some fabulous central Iowa weather. So if you've not checked out a realtor, Jenny Farrell is probably your person for that. And while Naked Dave's has gone on hiatus for a little bit, I have picked up some of their spices and have been grilling with it, because when it's 85, 90 degrees out, that's what you got to do in Iowa is to grill. So it goes great with Revelton. All right.
It's been 99 here.
99. Oh, I love that too. I love that as well. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll see you next time. Go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones.
When the team takes flight, Hilton's rocking, hear the magic call. We rise together, we'll never fall. There's a cyclone brewing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Trice shakes when the team takes flight. Hilton's rocking.